Welcome. My name is Keith Wilson, Chair of the Community Appearance Commission, and I would like to welcome everyone to the 2020 Community Appearance Awards. I would like to especially welcome our elected officials who are with us today from their homes and offices. The Community Appearance Commission is a 15-member volunteer commission of the City of Winston-Salem and Forsyth County with the mission to enhance the visual quality and aesthetic character of the city and county for residents and generations to come. The Commission sponsors this biennial awards program to honor individuals, businesses, and organizations that have made a positive impact on the appearance of our community. To begin our program, Aaron King, the Director of Planning and Development Services for Winston-Salem and Forsyth County, will introduce our keynote speaker, Rodney Swink.
Hello, it is my honor to introduce the keynote speaker for today's event. Rodney Swink is a licensed landscape architect and senior associate for planning and development at PlaceEconomics, which is a real estate and economic development consulting firm based in Washington, D.C. that specializes in downtown and neighborhood revitalization. He is also a professor at the North Carolina State University College of Design and is an independent consultant to local governments, nonprofits, and firms interested in community development and downtown revitalization. From 1984 to 2008, Rodney served as the director of the North Carolina Main Street Program and also as director of the North Carolina Office of Urban Development. He recently chaired the City of Raleigh Planning Commission and the Board of Directors for Preservation North Carolina. Rodney has also served as the national president of the American Society of Landscape Architects and chair of the ASLA Council of Fellows. Over the past 3 decades, Rodney has won a number of prestigious awards for his work in historic preservation, landscape architecture, and his humanitarian and community-focused work. Among them are the President's Medal from the American Society of Landscape Architects and the ASLA Legacy Medal in recognition of management and conservation of natural resources and public landscapes. He's the author of numerous articles for the National Trust for Historic Preservation and publications including Raleigh Downtowner Magazine, Planetizen, Main Street News, and Carolina Planning. It is my pleasure to welcome Rodney Swink to share his insight and knowledge on principles of good urban design.
Well, hello. I was delighted to get your invitation to speak at this event. I happen to think appearance commissions are pretty important, having chaired Raleigh's a few years ago. And I believe not only in the importance of such groups, but also the perspective they bring to community development issues. I've said before that just as we all, or at least most of us, look in a mirror before we leave our house to be sure we're going to present our best selves, appearance commissions are the community's mirror. They're the ones who make sure that we as a community are presenting our best selves. So thank you, Winston-Salem Forsyth County Appearance Commission, for what you do. And congratulations to the award winners as well. Your efforts are duly noted and much appreciated, and we all thank you for your investment in a greater community appearance. It does matter, and your work is making a difference. Raleigh's home now, but I was born and raised in Lexington, so I have a pretty good affinity for Winston-Salem. In high school, if I wanted to impress a date, of course I took her to Winston-Salem. They had more movies, had more interesting restaurants. Even in Lexington, we can't live on barbecue every day. After my freshman year at NC State, my first summer internship was with RJR Industries. I lived near Wake Forest University in a small house. I worked in the Reynolds building downtown. Even now, I look back and realize what an incredible experience that was to walk into that building every day. I felt incredibly important to be a 19-year-old still early in college career. I probably didn't realize it then, but looking back on it now, I realize that had a tremendous influence on the work that I subsequently did and continue to do today with communities, with downtown, with historic work. My career has been working with communities, with the largest focus working with downtowns. Downtowns were still important when I was getting acquainted with Winston-Salem, but even then they were beginning to lose their relevance. I don't have to rehash the history of downtown decline here, or at least not to those of us of a certain age, but we do need to acknowledge that it took a lot of commitment, a lot of leadership, and a lot of vision to reverse the decades of lost investment and turn our downtowns into the vibrant centers they are today. And that job continues. Today, we get to celebrate more commitment, more leadership, and more vision for Winston-Salem and Forsyth County through these awards. Not all the projects you're celebrating are downtown, nor should they be. Community appearance is a citywide, even a countywide concern, and credit to all of you for undertaking and understanding that community appearance matters. And the best way to improve a community's appearance, I believe, is through good urban design. So I want to take you through a quick primer on the principles for good urban design. Of course, different people will come up with different lists. In fact, there are lots of good books and great articles on what constitutes good urban design. But I like to keep things simple when possible. So my list is really only 4 items, and I'll get to them shortly. Most of my career, as I said, was spent in the North Carolina Department of Commerce working with downtowns. There were economic developers talking about a place's comparative advantage. There were market specialists using the term competitive differentiation. In either case, the point is that in a comparison, people will pay more for that which is perceived to be better or unique or special. They pay a price premium. While many factors go into a community's desirability, I want to focus on one aspect that is well within our control and worthy of our consideration: the importance of good community or urban design, and how the decisions we make in both the public and private sectors contribute to creating either places of distinction or places to be avoided. To create a place of distinction, we need to start with good urban design principles. For me, a principle is a standard against which actions should be measured. So we should begin by knowing what our desired outcome is, what it is we want to achieve, and then we can measure what we want to do against that standard, that desired outcome. So my simple and short list of principles for the best urban design are built on these 4 desired outcomes. Good urban design builds economic value for its citizens and the city. It sustains and enhances the environment. It engenders a more equitable society, and it adds beauty. That's the standard against which we should measure our actions. So let's talk about these in turn. Good urban design builds economic value, and it should do that for the individuals in the private sector, as it's also doing it for the community at large or the public sector. Let's talk about some examples. The National Association of Realtors and the National Home Builders Association found that residential properties realize a 10 to 20% gain in value the closer they are located to green spaces. This is called a proximity premium. My firm, PlaceEconomics, did a project in Louisville with the Olmsted Parks Conservancy. The Louisville Metro Park System has 124 parks. Of those, 18 are Olmsted parks with 4 parkways. These were the ones that were the basis of our study. Our research showed that while parks in general have a positive impact on property values, and that's been proven often, houses fronting Olmsted parks, Olmsted design parks, were collectively worth $94 million more than the non-fronting houses because of their premier location. Olmsted park fronting houses had a per square foot value of 5.5% more than the properties fronting non-Olmsted parks. So yes, there is a park adjacency premium, but then there was an extra Olmsted Parks adjacency premium. Walk Score is a methodology that assigns a walkability index to every address in the country. You can plug in your address to Walk Score and it'll tell you what your Walk Score is for where you live. You might live in a walker's paradise where you can walk to pretty much anything you need in a daily goods and services category. Or you may be car dependent where you have to drive to almost everything. Most of us, unless you live in or near downtown, unfortunately are car dependent. That's just the way we built things since the end of World War II. But walkability is more than a pleasant amenity. Walkability translates directly into increases in home values. Again, the National Association of Home Builders found that homes located in more walkable neighborhoods, those with a mix of common daily and shopping social destinations within a short distance, they command a price premium over otherwise similar homes in less walkable areas. In one study, above average levels of walkability commanded a premium between $4,000 and $34,000 over houses with just average levels of walkability. That's substantial. Another aspect of good urban design is the presence of trees. Studies show that developed lots with trees sell for an average of 15 to 20% more than similarly sized lots without trees. Tree planting and preservation pays off not only on upscale properties, but on smaller, less expensive lots as well. In another study, hotel occupancy rates in downtown Virginia Beach increased from 60 to 80% after a substantial street tree planting was put in place. That's pretty interesting and noteworthy. So from the private business perspective, the Urban Land Institute has found that well-designed and well-maintained plantings increase the financial return on commercial investments by between 5 and 15%. They also increase the rate of project absorption or the speed that a project fills. Finally, such efforts also help developers win support for proposals. I know from my time on the Raleigh Appearance Commission and more recently chairing the Planning Commission, this is true. When developers come with a well-designed, well-maintained, well-implemented plan, they're going to get more favorable treatment. From the community or public sector perspective, we need to think about trees again. We've already said that trees help private property values, but when we look at the public value generated, it's easy to start again with properly planted trees. Trees help to clean the air, provide a home for wildlife, slow stormwater runoff, and reduce the urban heat island effect, something I'll talk about shortly. A more recent analysis of the impacts of tree cover estimated that every acre of tree canopy contributes $300 of economic benefits annually. We did a study in Miami-Dade County recently, and our study found that the tree canopy in their historic districts had a $19 million economic benefit. The Trust for Public Land did a rather detailed study for the Philadelphia Parks Alliance to quantify the economic value of their parks. Their report shows that Philadelphia Parks provides the city and its residents with $23 million in city revenue, $16 million in municipal cost savings, $729 million in generated wealth for the residents, and even $40 million in tourist revenues. A similar study was done in Charlotte for the Mecklenburg County Parks and Recreation System, and that study found nearly $19 million in net profit from tourism and an overall $985 million economic impact. In Portland, Oregon, street trees, those trees along the public right-of-way, street trees increased the value of homes by a total of $1.1 billion, which is equivalent to the annual benefits of $45 million. Street trees increase annual property tax revenue by $13 million. And in that same Olmsted Park study I referenced earlier, properties within a half mile of Olmsted Parks represented $7 billion to the local tax base. And study after study has documented similar economic benefits. Other public benefits can be found in urban design efforts, such as streetscape improvements. I understand that you're planning some here. Good for you. It's a wonderful thing to be doing. Incidentally, a good test to use to help you decide if a particular public investment is worth doing is to ask this question: will the use of this public money leverage a private investment response? In other words, if we invest these public dollars, will the private sector jump in and invest as well? Not every public expenditure needs to meet this test, but those that are economic development oriented probably should. For example, when Raleigh finally committed to reopen Fayetteville Street, it had been a pedestrian mall for quite a few years. So finally in 2004, the city committed to reopen the street with a major streetscape plan. There was a substantial amount of new development that followed. Over the next 10 years, there were $2.3 billion worth of completed, under construction, or planned projects in the central business district. And that level of investment continues today. Now, no one is claiming that all of that is a direct result of the streetscape investment, but absolutely people do credit the street the city opening the street as a signal that the city was serious about development and redevelopment of downtown and was willing to be a partner in that process. So the streetscape did matter. Other research on the economic benefits of streetscape renovations come from this study in Denver, Colorado. It showed one of their district, business improvement district areas. Sales tax increased by over 16%, or over $1 million after the first year of construction, and vacancy rates actually decreased. And in a New York Department of Transportation study, looking at one Brooklyn area, it documented a first-year post-improvement increase in sales of 39%. They also had positive results from several other DOT case studies in the area. So, good urban design does build economic value for its citizens and the community through the artful placement and integration of high-quality elements within an overall plan. And I really want to emphasize that word, plan. Having a master plan is a great way to leverage impacts that others have seen. But of course, you know the standard disclaimer, past results are not a guarantee of future success, but still, it takes investment to generate investment, and having a good master plan helps to assure that the investment you make makes good sense. The second design principle, good urban design sustains and enhances the environment. Cities are noted for their urban heat island effect. I trust many of you have heard about that. And good urban design can go a long way to ameliorating this problem. The term heat island describes built-up areas that are hotter than nearby rural areas. The annual mean air temperature of a city with 1 million people can be more than 1.8 to 5.4 degrees warmer than its surroundings. In the evening, the difference can be as high as 22 degrees. Heat islands can affect communities by increasing summertime peak energy demand, air conditioning cost, air pollution and greenhouse gas emissions, heat-related illnesses and mortality, and even water quality. There are multiple strategies one may employ to reduce the heat island effect. Green roofs, green walls, and even green streets are all good urban design approaches if done properly. This is where landscape architecture and architecture ideally come together to blend the best of both towards a great design outcome. Good urban design can modify the negative aspects of the urban heat island and even create a positive impact. Consider for a moment the green roof. Green roofs have multiple benefits. Among them, rainwater retention, stormwater reduction, noise reduction, habitat creation, reducing heat effects, pollution reduction, and even if you do it right, aesthetic value, places where people might want to spend time. Because of the small amount of water retaining green space in urban areas, stormwater systems can be overwhelmed during periods of heavy rains, and we're getting a lot more heavy rains these days. In the many cities that have combined sewer systems, the result is the release of untreated sewage and stormwater into rivers and lakes. Green roofs, which can retain up to 75% of a 1-inch rainfall, alleviate pressure on the city's overburdened sewer systems caused by stormwater. At the same time, the green roof serves as a filter to reduce pollutants in the water and also to lower the temperature of the water that is eventually returned to the watershed. Additional benefits include the ability to reduce building heat gain and heating and cooling cost. The American Society of Landscape Architects installed a green roof on its Washington, D.C. headquarters in 2004. One set of research data for a 2-year period showed that the green roof retained nearly 75% of the total rainfall, keeping 27,000 plus gallons of water out of the city sewer system. And the green roof was as much as 32 degrees cooler than the conventional black roofs on neighboring buildings. And how about green streets? By better managing stormwater with rain gardens or other green designs, we can capture not only volumes of water that otherwise would be wasted downstream, but we can also clean that water before it gets into our waterways. That's an important consideration. We can also clean that water. This is such an obvious win-win that the only question is, Why aren't we allowing it to occur more often? These Green Street projects demonstrate ways to address street runoff, which is an important source of stormwater, as streets typically comprise as much as 35% of a city's impervious surface. Our work on the Olmsted Parks and Parkways in Louisville revealed that the parks sequestered over 23 million pounds of carbon while storing over 270 million pounds. It removed over 21,000 pounds of air pollution and saved over 93 million gallons of stormwater runoff, among other benefits. The best cities pay attention to their green infrastructure. The streams, which sometimes are buried but could be daylighted, their parks, their trees, greenways, their pockets of open space, all of which support our ability to breathe clean air and enjoy clean water. We need to think green. A third urban design principle, and this is a really important one: good urban design engenders equitable treatment and access. For too long, we have overlooked this basic truth. We have not invested in our communities equitably, and we have not provided equitable access. And the cost to our communities from this approach is something that we all have to pay for, some of us directly, some of us indirectly, but we all do pay. But with thoughtful urban design, we can begin to remedy this inequity. Good urban design should address access to housing, jobs, food, healthcare, education, and any of life's basic needs. We now know that one's zip code is a predictor of one's health outcomes and even one's economic mobility. Every neighborhood, every community, every citizen deserves the advantages that good urban design can bring. This happens when the community is respected and honestly engaged in the design discussion. Good urban design incorporates the aspirations and expectations of the community, reflects the community's vision, and is at its best a marriage between the design professional and the user, the stakeholder, the citizen. If we want our designs to be reflective of the community values and vision, we have to make time to meaningfully and honestly engage the public in the design process. Civic engagement, another measure of community's desirability, is enhanced by encouraging interaction and social exchange through good urban design. If urban spaces and plazas present a poor physical appearance, everyone will rush to get out of them. If, on the other hand, the environment is attractive, comfortable, and welcoming, people will linger. This may mean sitting, leaning against a wall, watching a fountain, or just stopping for a conversation. If the spaces are activated with places to sit, access to food or drink, visual stimulation, people are even more likely to slow down and to even stop. And besides accommodating planned meetings, more chance encounters will occur. More conversations with strangers are likely to happen. Civilized spaces civilize people. Another aspect of equitable treatment means providing alternatives to the car. Not everyone can afford a personal vehicle, so providing transportation choices like safe walking, biking, or transit is not just a good idea, it's an essential idea. Jan Gehl, the Danish architect, well known in planning and design circles, says, "Life takes place on foot." We need to do more to make being on foot, whether by choice or life circumstance, a tolerable and even pleasurable experience. We know how to do this, and we should. That's just good, basic urban design. Equitable treatment also acknowledges how a place impacts human health and well-being. There's a growing body of evidence that walkable and green communities have better health outcomes, meaning the people who live in them tend to be healthier. This research from a colleague of mine, Dr. Francis Kuo, notes that when we compare people with more versus less ready access to parks and other green environments, we find that they exhibit differences in well-being and functioning in each of the three trademark domains: social, psychological, and physical health. For example, in looking at the relationship between neighborhood walkability and blood pressure, Research has found that good neighborhood walkability was associated with lower blood pressure and the lower incidence of hypertension. Another study found a direct correlation between mental health effects and the proximity of parks. People who lived in residential areas with the least green spaces had a 44% higher rate of physician-diagnosed anxiety disorders than people who lived in the greenest residential areas. Time spent in the lushness of green environments also reduces sadness and depression. In a Dutch study, the prevalence of physician-diagnosed depression was 33% higher in the residential areas with the fewest green spaces compared to the neighborhoods with the most. Where you live does matter. Dr. Kuo and others have found that in less green environments, we find higher rates of aggression, violence, violent crime, and property crime. There's more evidence of loneliness and inadequate social support. However, in greener settings, people are more generous. They're more desirous of connectivity with other people. There's stronger neighborhood social ties and a greater sense of community. There's more willingness to help others, more mutual trust, and more positive social interaction. And there's a greater shared use of spaces by adults and children. In less green environments, we find exacerbated attention deficit hyperactivity disorder symptoms, more sadness, and higher rates of clinical depression. People are more prone to stress and anxiety, higher blood pressure, and stress-related anxiety. But in greener settings, better cognitive functioning. People are more proactive. There's more self-discipline, more impulse control, greater mental health overall. And I want to emphasize this, greater resilience in response to stressful life events. If we have learned anything in this last 10 months of this pandemic, is that we crave nature. We crave greenways and parks and green spaces. They are restorative. Whether we know that, we feel it when we're there. Resilience comes from these kinds of green spaces. In less green environments, again, greater rates of childhood obesity, higher rates in 15 out of 24 categories of physician-diagnosed diseases, including cardiovascular diseases, higher rates of mortality, not just in adults, but in young adults as well. And then in green environments, we see enhanced recovery from surgery. This enables and supports higher levels of physical activity, improved immune system functioning, and among older adults, we see improved functional health status and independent living skills, having access to green spaces. Greener environments are clearly one significant factor in public health and one that we can directly provide through thoughtful urban design. We need to take a critical look at our entire community. Are we doing everyone the right service and providing them access to green environments? Hippocrates is credited with being the father of medicine and also credited with this statement, our well-being is affected by our settings. Our well-being is affected by our settings. That's exactly what I've been talking about here. And that has proven to be true again and again. Zip codes, amazingly and sadly, really do predict outcomes. Good designers and good civic leadership understand and incorporate this knowledge to provide equitable treatment and access for all of our citizens. My last urban design principle, good urban design adds beauty to where we live. Flannery O'Connor coined the phrase, beauty is our money crop, in writing about a fictional Southern town. But she could have been writing about any of the places where good design has been embraced. Trent Todarian was once the director of city planning in Vancouver, British Columbia. Vancouver, acknowledged by many to be one of the most beautiful cities in the world. He said, good cities need infrastructure, efficiency, and economic activity. Smart cities give equally strong attention to sustainability, arts and culture, and social compassion. But great cities need more than that. They need beauty. I love this statement. I love it. I wish I had thought of it because it really captures what great cities should aspire to be. all of these things. But still, why beauty? Well, it's really simple. Beauty has the power to move us to act in our most positive manner. When we see beauty, we see hope and the best of our collective selves. We see opportunity. A beautiful city is something that we all deserve and we can all celebrate and take pride in. The landscape architecture and planning firm Design Workshop, in their publication Toward Legacy, writes that beauty is a timeless quality. It helps create real destinations that bring us meaning and act as a restorative on the human spirit. It boosts economic value, supports viability, and attracts capital, helping to ensure a project's longevity. I dare say that beauty does that for our cities as well. Whether through our historic architecture or our modern architecture, our stately trees, our landscape grounds, our public art, or the thousands of details that together comprise our urban setting, when we get it right, the end result is something to be enjoyed, appreciated, and celebrated. Beauty is the underpinning that gives the triple bottom line, economy, environment, equity, its ultimate value. I cannot close without referencing Frederick Law Olmsted, the man credited with founding the profession of landscape architecture in this country, who talked of the far-reaching conception that the designer must have in developing a picture so great that nature shall be employed upon it for generations before the work he has arranged for her shall realize his intentions. The best design, while it can and often does and should have an immediate impact, also stands the test of time. The best design is timeless. Our best urban design does build economic value for our citizens and for our cities. It does sustain and enhance the environment, and it does engender a more equitable society, and our best urban design adds beauty. Urban design is about designing for a better future, designing to create a comparative advantage, but mostly designing to give people value in their daily lives. That is what the best designers do and what we should expect as citizens who care about our communities and about each other. That is our collective challenge as we continue to build our 21st century cities. Again, thank you for this opportunity to speak with you, and congratulations to all the Community Appearance Award winners. Thank you.
Thank you, Rodney, for your enlightening words and thoughtful analysis of how good urban design can benefit communities on so many fundamental levels. And now it is time to present the Community Appearance Awards for 2020. This year, the Commission will be honoring 10 diverse projects. 7 award winners were chosen by our jury panel of Steve Galanti and Alyssa Nelson. The final 3 awards were selected by members of the Community Appearance Commission. We will start with the Count Zinzendorf Award. The Count Zinzendorf Award honors projects that contribute to the attractiveness and enjoyment of the greater downtown Winston-Salem area. The winner of the Count Zinzendorf Award is Bailey Power Plant. Originally constructed in 1947 to provide steam and electricity to the R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company, the renovation of Bailey Power Plant has reimagined the building into a mixed-use landmark within Innovation Quarter. The building includes 116,000 square feet of office, retail, and entertainment space. The design was created by Walter Robbs Callahan & Pierce Architects and Stimmel Associates and developed by Wexford Science Plus Technology. It celebrates the history of the power plant with the use of original brick, concrete, and steel windows and an industrially scaled metal canopy over the park's side southern entrance. Opaque metal panels on the northern, non-historic 1965 addition are replaced with contemporary expanses of glass, affording views from adjacent office buildings into the impressive steel roof trusses and massive concrete turbine supports within. The project also includes repairs to the smokestacks, retaining walls, and the elevated rail trestle, as well as installation of lighting and landscaping. The jury panel was especially pleased with how the design maintained the previous use of the building in the aesthetics of the new use by keeping the smokestacks and original form of the building. The renovation of Bailey Power Plant has given new life to a historic building in Innovation Quarter by creating a unique space that will contribute to the continued enjoyment of downtown Winston-Salem. The winner of the 2020 Count Zinzendorf Award, Bailey Power Plant. The Joseph Winston Award recognizes projects that demonstrate what restoration and rehabilitation can do for the visual and economic revitalization of small neighborhoods. The winner of the Joseph Winston Award is Campus Gas. A contributing resource in the Oak Crest National Register of Historic Places District, Campus Gas is an adaptive reuse of a former Campus 66 gas station into a restaurant. The building was originally built in 1965. With the renovation of the building, the former service station has been transformed into a colorful, joyful place for students, faculty, visitors, and residents to walk to for a quick bite or meet up with friends. The project maintained the character of the 1960s service station, including the iconic soaring winged canopy, while adding key features such as new landscaping and outdoor seating. The project really stood out to the jury panel for its eye-catching, fun design that is inviting to the surrounding neighborhoods and the Wake Forest University community. The project not only improves the visual character of the Oak Crest neighborhood, but also has a positive economic impact. The winner of the 2020 Joseph Winston Award, Campus Gas. The Mayor's Award recognizes new construction within the city of Winston-Salem that has both a visual and an economic role in the revitalization of downtown. The winner of this year's Mayor's Award is Bailey Park. As the front door to Innovation Quarter, the park celebrates its roots with the RJR Tobacco Company while embracing the technology that makes Winston-Salem a beacon for innovation in biomedical sciences. With landscaped, open spaces, gardens, water features, seating for more than 250 people, and a new amenities building, the park is a welcome addition to the Innovation Quarter that provides unlimited opportunities for activities and gatherings. The amenities building's shed roof dramatically heralds incoming visitors to growing downtown developments while echoing historic lean-to tobacco barn vernacular. The streamlined detailing and familiar forms invite passers-by, while overhangs provide a contemporary design for relief from the elements. The intimately scaled stage in front of tiered topography creates a natural amphitheater used for events from dining to salsa dancing. It is also great for relaxing under the open-air shed roof structure. Bailey Park is a public space that will catalyze additional economic development and the social and cultural connections within Innovation Quarter and the greater downtown area. It provides a much-needed green space that balances out the urban density of the surrounding development. The winner of the 2020 Mayor's Award, Bailey Park. The City Council Award honors individuals, projects, or businesses who demonstrate a commitment to the visual character of Winston-Salem. The winner of this year's City Council Award is Passageway Park. The new Passageway Park reimagines an overlooked and poorly maintained public walkway between Trade and Cherry Streets into an inviting corridor in the heart of downtown. The walkway was originally constructed in the early 1970s and connected the Strollway to the south and the Trade Street Mall to the north. After years of neglect and with increased focus on pedestrian access and connectivity, the Downtown Winston-Salem Partnership decided it was time to address the situation in 2015. With the theme of Illuminate, Cultivate, Activate. The renovation project focused on breathing new life into the walkway and turning it into a safe, attractive, well-lit pocket park and pedestrian avenue. The project included the removal of old concrete planters and above-ground landscaping, the addition of new dirt and ecological landscaping, artistic lighting, security cameras, educational signs, and bike racks. The updated Pocket Park provides a pedestrian connection in downtown and is a low-key space for public performances. It has already been used for public film screenings and as a venue for the Winston-Salem Light Project. The project showcases that when a problem is identified and people come together, it can be remedied in an attractive way with limited funds. The winner of the 2020 City Council Award, Passageway Park. The County Commissioners Award honors new construction that reflects the true use of the building while incorporating distinctive decorative elements. The winner of this year's County Commissioners Award is Kernersville Fire Station 42. Designed by ADW Architects and the Timmons Group, Fire Station 42, a new fire station in Kernersville, is a 19,000 square foot, 4-bay station on NC Highway 66. The site also includes 2 accessory buildings for training and continuing education, unique to emergency service personnel. The building features multicolored brick with pattern variations and a decorative cornice trim. Metal awnings over paneled and recessed windows are complemented by gooseneck wall-mounted lighting that highlight building features and promotes safety. The 4 engine bays face directly onto Highway 66 and were inspired by 19th century architecture that balances a traditional style with contemporary efficiency. The level of detail and use of distinctive elements in the design of the new fire station shows a level of quality that is appreciated and not always shown in institutional buildings. The new fire station creates a presence along the main thoroughfare within Kernersville that is respectful of its role in the community. The winner of the 2020 County Commissioners Award, Kernersville Fire Station 42. The Benjamin Forsyth Award recognizes projects that demonstrate how the realization of a landscaping vision, big or small, can inspire others with its beauty and creativity. The winner of the Benjamin Forsyth Award is the Cherokee Kenwood Traffic Circle Landscaping. Located in the Ardmore neighborhood, the traffic circle at the intersection of Cherokee Lane and Kenwood Drive is beautifully landscaped and maintained by Ardmore residents Trish and Steve Anthony. Initially started by Jean McDowell, the Anthonys have been responsible for the landscaping for the past 4 years. Each spring, the Anthonys prepare and plant the bed entirely with annuals. In 2019, they put in more than 400 plants. The traffic circle is the largest flowering bed in the city, planted entirely by volunteers. The plants used in the design are provided by Keep Winston-Salem Beautiful and the Garden Club Council of Winston-Salem, as well as purchased by the Anthonys. The city of Winston-Salem waters the circle twice a week. During the hot summer months, the Anthonys supplement this by watering the bed with a hose from their home. The appearance of the traffic circle shows an amazing level of care, dedication, and commitment on the part of the Anthonys. With its beautiful array of flowers that are colorful and well maintained, the circle has become a wonderful attribute to the neighborhood. The winner of the 2020 Benjamin Forsyth Award, the Cherokee Kenwood Traffic Circle Landscaping. The Flora Ann Bynum Award recognizes projects or people who go above and beyond to practice good land conservation, landscape preservation, and/or tree conservation. The winner of the Flora Ann Bynum Award is the Louisville Beautification Committee. The Louisville Beautification Committee was established in 1991 to improve the appearance and enhance the character and small-town culture of Louisville. For the past 28 years, the volunteers of the committee have worked tirelessly to enhance the beauty of the town. One of their major accomplishments has been beautifying and enhancing Jack Warren Park. They designed, planted, and care for the perennial flower garden and the wildflower garden in the park, as well as planted and maintained the azalea slope and rose beds and established and maintained the 7-box Bluebird Trail. The committee also organizes the twice-yearly Louisville Clean Sweep event, presents the Yard of the Week Award during spring and summer months, and selects the town banners displayed along Shallowford Road. The committee was also responsible for creating the Discovering Louisville booklet for new residents in 2019. The level of care exhibited by the volunteer committee over almost 3 decades is commendable and has had tremendous impact on the appearance and character of Louisville. Their work influences and encourages others within the community to be active in making Louisville a wonderful place to live. The winner of the 2020 Flora Ann Bynum Award, the Louisville Beautification Committee. The winners of the next 3 awards were chosen by members of the Community Appearance Commission. In honor of the celebrated local brickmaker George Black, the George Black Award recognizes an artisan or craftsman whose quality workmanship in his or her chosen field has made a significant contribution to the betterment of our community's appearance. The winner of the George Black Award is Leo Rucker. A local artist and muralist, Leo Rucker's passion for art began as a child. A graduate of East Forsyth High School, Mr. Rucker pursued a career in art at Rutledge College, where he received a commercial art degree. He began his career in the gold leaf department at Carolina Art and Frame. Over his expansive career, Mr. Rucker has built a reputation for a level of photorealism in his artwork that truly captures his subjects. His work has included annual report covers, posters, billboards, newspaper ads, and logos. He has created drawings and paintings for the Forsyth County Partnership, also known as Smart Start, and for Sophisticate's Black Hair magazine, where he created over 200 portraits for a column called Role Models Beyond Beauty for 18 years. He has also created works for Diggs Elementary School, Winston Lake YMCA, the Winston-Salem Transit Center, and most recently an artistic bus shelter in partnership with the Public Art Commission. His current commission is a mural in Innovation Quarter celebrating the area's African American heritage. Throughout a career spanning nearly 4 decades, Leo Rucker has used his talents and passion for art to capture the lives of individual subjects and the history of his community. He has given back through sharing his talent to students and charitable organizations. His work has made a significant contribution to the betterment of our community. The winner of the 2020 George Black Award, Leo Rucker. The Community Appearance Commission Award honors visionary leadership and exemplary service in Forsyth County over an extended period of time in pursuit of high-quality community appearance. The winner of the Community Appearance Commission Award is the Beautification and Safety Committee of the Boston Thurmond Community Engagement Roundtable. The Beautification and Safety Committee is a new initiative started by the Boston Thurmond Community Engagement Roundtable. It has brought attention to the importance of neat, clean, and green yards and other open spaces. Their mission is to improve the quality of life and enhance the overall appearance of the community, encourage neighbors to take pride in their homes and neighborhood, and celebrate those who have committed to maintaining yards in a way that complements the community. The committee has started their work with two key initiatives. The first has been to take over areas in the community, including the neighborhood park, that had become overgrown and were creating visual obstructions and harboring pests. The second has been a Yard of the Month program that runs from May through September. A winning yard is selected each month from each of the 4 quadrants within the community. The response from the community has been overwhelmingly positive. The new Beautification and Safety Committee has already made a tremendous impact in the community with its first 2 initiatives. Residents are taking pride in their yards, homes, and open spaces with a strong sense of community blossoming within the neighborhood. The winner of the 2020 Community Appearance Commission Award, the Beautification and Safety Committee of the Boston Thurmond Community Engagement Roundtable. The final award to be presented this afternoon is the Classic Award. The Classic Award recognizes landmark buildings, developments, and landscapes of enduring value and quality that have become symbols of our community. The winner of the Classic Award is Haynes Park. Haynes Park is named for P.H. Haynes Sr., who donated the land for the park in 1919. For 100 years, the park has been a valuable asset to not only the West End neighborhood, but also to the adjacent West Highlands neighborhood and to the city as a whole. Visitors enjoy the many amenities the park offers, including tennis courts, a playground, ball fields, a track, picnic shelters, and open play areas. In 2014, the city began planning a broad-reaching improvement project funded by the 2014 bonds. Recognizing the wide public interest in Haynes Park, the city involved neighbors, local and regional citizens, the school system, civic groups, and businesses at every step of the way. Improvements included renovation of the signature semicircular main entrance, installation of new stone seating walls, bollards and pedestrian lighting, repairs to the existing parking lot, installation of 2 new stone staircases, and new landscaping. The improvements were completed in 2019, just in time for the park's centennial celebration. With the continued enjoyment of the park by Winston-Salem and Forsyth County residents, Haynes Park remains a landmark with enduring value. The eastern half of the park is listed as a contributing element to the West End National Register Historic District. The winner of the 2020 Classic Award, Haynes Park. Congratulations to our winners. We regret that we were not able to honor the winners and have them receive their awards in person this year, but because of the coronavirus pandemic and the limits on indoor gatherings, that was not an option. I would again like to thank our jury panel of Steve Galante and Alyssa Nelson and our keynote speaker Rodney Swink for participating in this year's Community Appearance Awards. One housekeeping note, this program will be posted on the city's YouTube channel and will be available for viewing on demand. And with that, we are concluded. I'm Keith Wilson, the chair of the Community Appearance Commission for Winston-Salem and Forsyth County. Thank you for watching.